first thing we want you to do real quick is find the chat button. Click on the chat button so that hopefully it'll open up on your screen. And if you have any questions, pop them in there, and then I'm sure Casey will give that instruction in 2 minutes. Sorry about that, Casey.
Not a problem. I'm going to go ahead and let's turn down. There it is. How is that? Turn down the brightness a little bit. Better? Worse? Depends on where I stand. Alrighty. Well, so in case you haven't noticed, Semi-Rad is one of my favorite outdoor comic things. So we're going to go ahead and humans versus bears. It turns out no matter how many classes you take, bears are probably better at backpacking still. There we go. So welcome to the 2020 Backpacking School. This is one of my favorite schools. When I first joined IMAC was right when I moved to Tri-Cities, and I met a lot of my friends through IMAC, including Danette. I'm very excited to have you this year, and we're going to move into it. It's always my favorite school of the year. But first, find the group chat. Tell us why you're joining this class. Let's start out with people whose first names are A through L. Morgan, we are taping, so you can watch later.
I got her, Casey.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Backpack, but not die. That's always, not dying is always my favorite objective for just about everything. New hobbies, family activities. Hiking Mount Adams, much easier to do if it's overnight, for sure. Meet people with similar interests. I'm gonna try that. Backpacking trip to the Philippines.
Ooh.
There we go. Another Mount Adams. Meet like-minded people. That's what I did in 2016. New retirement hobby. Geologist. Yep. Alrighty. Let's go with the rest of the alphabet, N through Z.
So N through Z, pop in and type out what?
Tell us why you are taking this class. Learn skills, better IMAC hike leader.
Hi, Terry.
Your first experience as a backpacker definitely will set the tone, Greg. Or you'll find on our graduation trips, they're very low key, very low risk. We focus most on having a good time as opposed to getting crazy.
But I bet you didn't do it with 6 feet of snow on the ground and a 100-pound backpack too.
Oh yeah,
That's
that sounds
literally
like a
what I
pretty
had
fun
to
trip.
do. That's what the military made me do.
Yep. Want to go a little bit farther than day hikes, car camping? Alrighty, well, in the interest of time, I'm going to kick off. But yeah, I started backpacking when I was in the Army, actually. I was doing more of a desk job after spending a lot of time in the infantry, and I needed to get outdoors more. It was just kind of going crazy sitting behind a desk. So I took up backpacking on the weekends, and it caught the bug and just kept going ever since. This brings me into who I am. I call myself an outdoor adventurer with a job problem. And the problem with my job is that usually I have to go to it and do work in order to get paid. I'm still trying to figure out how to get paid for not doing work, but it hasn't worked yet. Nobody signs up for that. I do everything. I spent 7 years as an infantry officer in the Army. Skiing is probably my number one. Backpacking and climbing mountains is a close second. There on the left, you'll see Mount Rainier. And yes, it is a Rainier at the summit. Rainier beer at the summit of Mount Rainier. And I actually contributed, probably my latest achievement was I contributed a chapter to this book about redefining the modern military. It's a academic style book. So if you're looking for some, sleeping pills aren't cutting it for you, you know, this, the intersection of profession and ethics can get you. Today, we're going to talk about the course overview. Then that's going to cover student experiences. We're going to have a short, about 5 to 10 minute discussion on conditioning. And then I'm going to demonstrate here in my garage, packing a backpack. So we'll start right off with the purpose. This course is designed to get you outside for a safe overnight backpack. We're not covering through hiking, and we are not, maybe a little bit basic if you've backpacked before. Our assumption is that you have no prior experience backpacking, and you need to know everything. And we do that on purpose. This is our main outreach to the community. There we have a mountaineering school that's going to be more in depth. It assumes you already know how to backpack. We have hike leaders. You can go to hike leader training. But this course is for people with no experience who have never backpacked before. Hopefully you'll get a chance to meet some like-minded people, meet some new friends. It's going to be a little bit more difficult here with virtually than in person, but we're going to do our best. That's why we're going to start out with these social shares at the beginning of class. And then my favorite part of the course is learning to draw words with your headlamp. All right. It takes a little bit of practice, but eventually you can get some pretty good handwriting. Like that's probably better than my normal handwriting. We do have some requirements, and this is for our safety and yours, and to make sure the trip goes well when we do have a graduation trip. To go on a trip, you need to come to 5 of 8 of the classroom sessions. Right? The trip is a low-key trip. There is instruction on the trip, but we need to know you have that base level of knowledge so that we're not going to have to be reteaching the course over the course of 2 days. Attend 1 of 2 of the outdoor demos. These demonstrations are really valuable. I'm partial to the map and compass one, since that's what I teach. It is a compass course, and we'll talk more about it. And a lot of times what I've seen over the past couple of years is the classroom session of map and compass hurts. It is, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it is one of the most academic classes we do. And sometimes you just don't see it clicking about bearings and navigating with your compass and everything like that. But as soon as we go out to W.E. Johnson and we start going from point to point to point, you see it click, and I really get great feedback on it every year. Everybody that comes to that demonstration is happy about it. We also do a cooking and setup demo where we're going to set up tents, stoves, camp in the park, and those are very valuable because you'll get to see all of the different types of tents. I've got a teepee, I've got a freestanding tent, I've got a semi-freestanding tent. Other people bring, like Steve will bring his ultralight minimalist shelters. You get a chance to see everything and put your hands on it. It's really great. You do have to provide your own gear for the trip. And for my trips and Steve Gahn's trips, the gear shakedown is mandatory, right? Steve's got a great story. He'll probably tell it next class about the 100-pound backpacks and showing up at the trailhead, and it looked like something out of a movie, just like grabbing stuff out of the pack, being like, not that, leave that in the car, leave that in the car. And eventually they got it down to like a 50-pound backpack And 2 miles in, the guy was just like, you know what, I got to go back. I'm not going to make it. So we'll do the gear shakedown to make sure that you're going to have a good trip up front. And finally, which we probably won't test this theory on a graduation backpack since the objective is to have a good time, but there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad attitudes.
Hey, Casey. Casey,
Jeanette,
can you go back to that slide real quick?
sure.
Thank you. Out of the 5 to 8 class sessions, they're all being recorded, so you should be able to make any of them up that you missed. But we'd really like to see you live for 5. Live at 5? Live for 5 of them, but they will be recorded, correct?
That's correct.
Right.
I am working on my video editing so that hopefully we can cut out like the 30 minutes of me getting class set up and whatever post class stuff we have, and compressing it down to just the class material. I'm still working on that for the Zoom test, and so it may be a little bit delayed, but if nothing else, I can just blast out the raw recording right away.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So, Danette, on to you.